Once I hit you with that bad space, you ain't coming back. No control, all the let you give me space. Like hit you with that bad space, you ain't coming back. Every once in a while, a demo pops up during a busy release schedule that completely catches you off guard and forces you to pay attention. That's exactly what happened when I sat down to play Fading Echo. Before we dive in, I want to give a quick disclosure and shout out that I received this review key via Keymailer, so shout out to Keymailer. Now, I go into every demo with a healthy dose of skepticism, but after putting some real time into a snippet of Fading Echo, I came across thoroughly impressed. This is an elemental action RPG, and even in this early state, it's already demonstrating a level of polish and creative ambition that you don't see from indie titles these days. Now, right out of the gate, the story hooked me. You play as one, a young legend navigating a fractured world called Corel that's actively being consumed by something known as the Paradox Corruption. The demo drops you into an area called the Cinder Vault, and while it gives you just enough lore to understand the stakes, it leaves a massive trail of intrigue. There's a real sense of fractured realities and the companion characters like Rain and Vellum who chime in along your journey. It doesn't drown you in endless exposition, but rather sets up an engaging narrative thread that genuinely left me wanting to know more about the world and where the main story is headed. So visually and mechanically, Fading Echo immediately struck a chord with me. The artistic direction is fantastic. It's vibrant, highly stylized, and packed with personality. I couldn't help but draw comparisons to South of Midnight. It shares that same distinct comic book adjacent visual aesthetic, where every frame feels lively and distinct. And that comparison carries over into how the actual game plays. The controls in Fading Echo are remarkably easy to pick up and feel silky smooth from the start. Movement feels responsive, combat inputs are crisp, and navigating environments feels natural rather than clunky. If you played games with similar stylized action and fluid traversal, you'll feel right at home here. Where the gameplay truly shines, though, is in its core mechanics. Specifically, the ability to shift between two different completely forms. In your standard human form, combat is snappy and engaging, letting you pull off sleek hand-to-hand and melee attacks with the elemental flair. But then you shift into a liquid form. The entire pace of the game transforms. In water form, you become this fast-moving fluid sphere that can surf through pipes, split through hazards, and launch yourself into enemies from above. The interplay between the two forms is super cool. You're not just switching forms for platforming, you're combining them in combat to trigger elemental chain reactions with the environment, mixing water with lava or toxic waste to manipulate the battlefield. It turns every encounter into a dynamic sandbox, where creativity actually feels rewarding. As a demo, this does exactly what a good preview is supposed to do. It gives you a concise, satisfying taste of combat, traversal, and world building without giving away the entire farm. You can feel the sheer amount of potential backed up by these mechanics. The foundation is rock solid, the performance feels good, and the mechanical loop of shifting forms to solve puzzles and fight bosses is genuinely fun. So to wrap things up, Fading Echo has immense potential. It takes a unique story concept, wraps it in a gorgeous art style with intuitive controls, and elevates it with genuinely clever form-shifting mechanic. I can honestly say I'll be definitely keeping an eye out for this one as the development continues, and I can't wait to see what the full release brings to the table when it officially launches. If you enjoyed stylized action RPGs with great movement and elemental combat, make sure to check out the demo on Steam and throw it on your wishlist. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll catch you in the next review. As always, be kind, love one another, and don't be a dick. See ya.